we're going to be using 3 brushes today. I'm going to give them super simple names. The big one's Big Brush. The one with the chisel top, that's a little bit smaller, that's going to be Medium Brush.
The last one is called.
What do you think this one's called?
Small brush.
Yeah, correctamundo. You get a prize today, Tony. We also gave you guys an extra plate. It's right with your palette as well. We're going to use that extra plate for mixing colors, just in case we need to mix any colors. You can also use it for fanning your paint, just so it'll dry way faster. And also, if you are drinking something, don't put it too close to your paint water, because you might accidentally put your brushes into the drink, or you might accidentally drink the paint water. If that does happen to happen by mistake, because trust me, it does happen, don't worry, it is non-toxic. It just tastes really, really bad. I've done it a million times when I'm not paying attention, and all of a sudden I'm just drinking some paint water. It's just really, really nasty, so I do not recommend that. A lot of people also ask me, hey Rod, what does it take to make a good painting? First of all, you have to relax. You have to breathe in, and don't forget to blink, because I have some people that start freezing up and they forget to blink. They look like deer in headlights. Just if you catch yourself doing that, don't forget, take a deep breath and relax, because paintings are better when you're relaxed. Other than that, do we have any questions, concerns, comments? Something we have to say before we get started? Anybody? Whoa. No? All right. And if you do, you know what? I have one last thing to say. If I'm going to give some questions, I'm going to ask at what point you guys are at. If you guys are ready for the next step, give me a thumbs up, or you can actually send us the emoji of the thumbs up. If you're completely behind, give us a thumbs down. And if you're almost there, give us the más o menos, almost there. Give us the little wavy hand, so we'll know where you're at based on the instructions. If you don't... Yeah, for sure. Other than that, no questions, right? All right, we're going to get started. I'm going to switch over to this camera instead, because I think this one is better. There we go. Hell yeah. All right, we're going to start with our big brush. I'm going to wet it a little bit. Wet it, tap it on the cup so it doesn't have way too much water. I'm going to get a scoop of black on one side. So with my brush, I'm going to grab a scoop of black on one side of my brush. I want to turn it around, and I'm going to get a scoop of blue on the other side. So I'm going to get black on one side, blue on the other side. Equal parts, black on one side, blue on the other side. And I'm going to start on the very top. And I'm just going to go all the way to the end and come right back with the other side of the brush. Make sure to cover any tiny little white dots that you might see of the canvas still kind of peeking out. We do not want to see those little tiny, I call them computer pixels. Like if you see a whole bunch of like little pixels still showing, just give it a second pass, so we will cover those little tiny pixels. We're going to go all the way to the very bottom, but make sure to go from one end to the other end. Don't do this, because then the painting's going to look choppy. We want it to look nice and smooth, so I'm going to go from one end to the other end. One end to the other end. Keep on going all the way till you get to the very bottom of the canvas. It does not matter what side you started with. If you started with the black side or the blue side, it does not matter, as long as you just use both sides as you're going down. If you run out of paint, just grab again black on one side, blue on the other side. If you can't tell which side was the black side and which side was the blue side, do not worry, it's okay. It'll still come out just the way we want it to come out. So we're going all the way down, all the way down. I personally like painting the sides of my canvas, so that way it gives it that gallery wrap look. You don't need to actually frame it when you do that. Side to side, side to side. Get rid of those pixels. If you see those little pixels, get rid of those. If for some reason there's like a area where even though you go over it, the pixels are still showing, something I'll do is this. I'll scribble into the pixels, so I'll make them disappear. But I'll follow it up with a side to side, because you will totally notice where you scribbled. You will erase the pixels, but you'll notice the texture of that scribble right there. So follow it up with a side to side. Very technical terms here. Scribble, 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 side to side, side to side. Only the pros know those terms,
Oh, we got a whole bunch of pros.
right? Grabbing some more black and blue, side to side, side to side. Pesky pixels, scribble, scribble, scribble. Followed up by a side to side. Don't forget to paint the sides if you're painting the sides. I feel like when you paint the sides, the painting looks great with or without the frame hanging because it wraps around. If you are painting the sides, paint the very top as well. Go ahead and paint the very top. And when the top dries also, you can flip the canvas upside down and you can paint the very bottom as well. If your brush has paint on it, but it's still skipping a lot, that means that your brush is starting to get dry. Even if you have paint, your brush will get dry. So I will wet it a little bit on the cup. I'll tap it on the cup so it doesn't have way too much water. But then I'll grab another scoop of black on one side and another scoop of blue on the other side. And that'll help even for covering up the little pixels I'm talking about. Like right here, I have those little pesky pixels. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Side to side, all the way till I get to the very bottom of the canvas. Scribble, 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 side to side, side to side.
I'm sure you guys are having it's coming out a little bit streaky, and that is kind of part of this. We want it to be a little streaky, so you want to see some blue and black streaks.
Yes, good point, Tony. I just don't want it to look like a solid blue, bluish black. Yeah, well, it doesn't look like a flag yet, but yeah, just make sure that, like Tony said, that you do notice that there are streaks of blue and streaks of black throughout the whole painting. Scribble, 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 side to side, side to side. And make sure to stay as horizontal as possible, because if you go off towards the right or off towards the left, it won't create that effect that we're looking for, like the painting has, like up on the skyline and up on the reflections on the water. That's why we're trying to stay as horizontal as possible. Remember, if you need a scribble, scribble, follow it up with a side to side. If you guys are new to Chicago and love street art, there's this great place called the Beeline. And you can look it up on Instagram and on Facebook. Beeline. On Instagram, I think it's B_line. And they have it. You feel like you're in an outdoor museum of just graffiti. And the murals are probably like 20 feet tall by maybe 15 feet wide. All very original artworks from local artists. Totally recommended. And like I said, you feel like you're just like an outdoor museum, and especially before the weather gets really cold. I would totally recommend you guys go over there, check it out, the Beeline, and it goes on for miles. And that's it, we're done with the painting. Good job, everybody. I think you guys did awesome. You were kind of quiet out there, but
Abstract, yeah.
I'm kidding. I am going to ask, though, since I do kind of paint kind of fast, how's everybody doing? Are we ready for the next step? Yes? No? Más o menos? Maybe so?
Not too many folks in the video on, but you can chat us up too if you guys are shy.
Don't be shy. We don't bite. We just megabyte. You can emoji Tony a thumbs up,
Yeah, we're
a
getting
thumbs down, or
a couple minutes. We can give a minute.
all right. Sometimes I'm too speedy Gonzalez. I have to go Slowpoke Rodriguez.
It's beautiful, Rod. I don't know what to say.
I think it's one of my best
It is.
to date. I like going over my strokes even though I'm done, just to kind of spread the paint out a little bit better onto the canvas, especially if you are seeing a lot of pixels. Make sure to just go over everything with no paint. Just spread the paint on there with your brush. If you are done though, clean your brush, because the next step we're going to need a clean brush. But you guys still have maybe like a minute left. But put your brush in the water. I like putting it all the way to the very bottom of the cup and then shaking it, shaking it, shaking it. That way I get all the paint out of there. And then I'll dab it on my paper towel. You can either dab it or pinch it with your paper towel. And don't worry, I know your water is going to become really dark right now, but do not worry, it is okay. You do not need to change out your water. Once I've cleaned my brush, I'm going to grab a scoop of orange. And I want to go to the middle of the canvas. I know the paint's still wet. I want to take advantage of the fact that the paint's still wet, actually. But I'm going to just eyeball this. We don't need to actually take out a measuring stick or anything like that. I'm just going to go to the middle of the canvas. I'm going to hold my brush with the bristles like this, though, because I think that makes outlining way easier when we're going to do, like, the horizon line. So I'm just going to go to the middle, and I'm just going straight across.
All you type A personalities, you just got to kind of go for it. It's hard to carefully make a line. You just got to go zoop.
Yeah, you type A's, I'm a O positive. Once we have our line, our horizon line, I'm gonna just do quick uneven strokes, still using the orange up here, mostly going up towards the right, but I'm just gonna go like this, uneven, uneven. As I'm getting higher, not higher, as I'm going higher on the painting, I am just going to make these strokes shorter and shorter. But I'm just doing uneven strokes. When we're closer to the horizon line, they should be a little bit wider. But as we're getting further and further away, if you need to grab some more orange, you can just grab some more orange. We do want it to blend to the background. Do not worry. We do want it to blend into the background. But I'm going up towards the right, and my strokes are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Remember, the closer you are to the horizon line, the wider your strokes are going to be. The further away we get from it, the shorter the strokes are going to be. And we're not going to go all the way to the very top. We'll stop maybe about 3 or 4 fingers away from getting to the very top of the canvas.
Is the color you see when you approach the city at night. You know, you see that orange hue, man.
Yeah. When I moved here, it was last year actually, in the polar vortex that just happened, and I'm from Texas. So I'm not used to that. Like, cold for Texas is 50. 40, oh my God, everyone's staying in home. If it snows like this much, forget about it. Everything's canceled. Everything, work, school, people can't drive over there. They start crashing into each other, so they rather just stay in their homes. But it rarely snows over there. So when I got here and I'm about to land, I see the whole entire Great Lake frozen. I'm like, what? That's one of the biggest bodies of water on the planet, and it's completely frozen. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. But everyone kept on convincing me, stay till summer. You're gonna love it in summer. And I'm like, all right, let's see what this is all about. Wow, Chicago just blew me away. Such a beautiful city. Anytime you're downtown, you can take a picture anywhere and it looks like you're in a movie or something. It's so dope. All right, are we done with our top portion of the orange section of our painting? I'm assuming yes, because this is super easy step. We're about to take a break, but before we take the break, we want to do this. I'm going to now change my brush to have the bristles like this. And right across this hole underneath this horizon line, I'm just going to do some quick, uneven, vertical strokes. These should be uneven. I don't want them to be one right next to each other exactly the same length. I want these to be uneven. Some should be a little bit longer, some should be a little bit shorter. All I'm doing is quick, uneven, vertical strokes right underneath the horizon line. If you pass the horizon line a little bit, switch your brush to have the bristles like this, and then just re-outline it.
There's a lot of layering in this painting. It really kind of builds and builds and builds.
I like grabbing a little bit of extra orange just so I can have like some more defined areas of the orange. Because I like the faded ones that can actually have the effect of like the reflections that are a little bit further away. But then I'll just follow them up with some more orange, so I'll have some areas where they do look a little bit more brighter. So don't be afraid to grab a little bit more orange and just randomly add some brighter ones, but do keep the darker ones. Some of the darker ones should still stay in there, but throw in a couple of brighter ones. I feel like it looked like a piano or something, right?
Like a crazy one.
Yeah. When you're done adding these vertical uneven strokes, we're taking a little break because we do need the whole painting to dry, because when we're going to add the skyline and everything, if this is still wet, then it's not going to actually let us create the actual skyline on there, because it's going to keep on blending with the wet paint. So make sure to take a break. Your painting will thank you for it. And when I say take a break, I mean take a break, not just, all right, I'm relaxing and I'm still painting. Take the break, that way the painting will dry. Since we haven't used our extra plate for anything just yet, if you want your painting to dry a little bit faster, very technical term here, we're just gonna fan it with our plate, and that'll help you dry your painting way faster.
And if that isn't working, you can always crank out a hairdryer. That will, of course, work amazingly, but usually just fanning it should be enough. But we are going to take a short break and let this dry. I know it's a little bit early for most of our paintings for a break, but as you can see, this is a pretty dark background and we want to go over it. So we're going to take a really short break.
Break time.
10 at the most, but we'll check in to see how you guys' paintings are drying, and then we'll come and take it from there.
Fan your painting, fan your painting. Number one fan.
must be wrong with my brain. Like a poison I've never drained. I want you so bad if you dare. Hold me tight and love me, baby. I wanna make you feel confused. What do you think when I shake you, baby? I wanna lead you, I wanna choose. What do you think when I shake you, baby? I wanna make you feel confused. What do you think when I shake you, baby? I wanna lead you, I wanna choose. What do you think when I shake you, baby? Something must be wrong with my brain. A fire side I've never overcame. Oh, can you feel it deep into your veins? Hold me tight and love me, baby. I wanna make you feel confused. What do you think when I shake you, baby? I wanna lead you, I wanna choose. What do you think when I shake you, baby? Something must be wrong with my brain. Like a poison I've never drained. I want you so bad if you dare. Hold me tight and love me, baby. I wanna make you feel confused. What do you think when I shake you, baby? I wanna lead you, I wanna choose. What do you think when I shake you, baby? Something must be wrong with my brain. Like a poison I've never tried. I want you so bad if you dare. Hold me tight and love me, baby.
Call me up when you're sober, when you've showered and changed. You give it up like it's over, but never give it away. And I don't wanna fall for you this time. I can't find the truth in all the lies. If I could, I would believe me. If I could, I would need you. I don't wanna fall for you this time. Call me up when you're sober, when you've showered and changed. You give it up like it's over, but never give it away. And I don't wanna fall for you this time. I can't find the truth in all the lies. If I could, I would believe me. If I could, I would need you. I don't wanna fall for you this time. And I don't wanna fall for you.
love how you taste. Yeah, it's easy to work out the door of the habit. There's no reason now to keep screwing over the feelings we have. So I keep coming over, breathing your cigarettes.
It's 2 minutes. 2 minutes. The way you can check your painting to see if it's dry, look at it in the light. If it looks super shiny, that means that it's still wet. Maybe fan it with your plate a little bit more. We have 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Make me feel lucky. I keep on falling the further I get. Don't be mistaken, there's still some parts that just don't make sense. Stuck in my head, I keep on thinking, why won't we stay? Yeah, it's easy to work out the door and never. There's no reason now to keep screwing over the feelings we have.
Hey everybody, we're seeing that our painting is taking a little bit extra to dry, so we're going to give it a few more minutes because we definitely want to make sure that it's dry so we can go over it properly. So I know that everybody's on a little bit of a time thing, but I don't think we'll run over, but we just want to make sure that this is dry.
Make me feel lucky.
So afraid of you, lying so far into. I wanna know why I hear it sounds like they have. I wanna know why now. I'm feeling right. How could you?
think we're ready for the next step. How's everybody doing out there in virtual world? Are we ready for the next step? I think we are, right? We're gonna do this for the next step. We're going to get our medium brush. Make sure to put your big brush back into the water though, because that way it won't dry up and paint won't stay stuck on it. So put your big brush back into the water. Switch over to your medium brush. Your medium brush is the one that has the smaller one that has the chisel top, not the pointy one. And for this step, we're going to do this. We're gonna get a scoop of yellow on one side, and we're gonna get a scoop of white on the other side. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do brushy horizontal stripes throughout the whole skyline. But it's gonna be kind of like how we did the orange. We want these to be uneven strokes. I just don't want them to be right on top of each other like steps on a ladder. I want these to be really random, uneven strokes. I am gonna hold my brush with the bristles like this though. And I'm going to start right here in the middle, and I'm going to start working my way up. I don't want to cover up all the orange. If you can still see some of the orange, leave some of it showing. But I'm going to start right here in the on the horizon line.
Interrupt you here. Sorry to interrupt you, Rod. I'm seeing a few people are saying that their top orange is still wet. I know that the bottom might be slightly wet, but we're going to tackle that later. I see one person saying that the orange is wet. Do we need to wait a few more minutes, or can we start? Let us know in the chat.
How we doing? Yes? No? Maybe so?
I'm not seeing anybody else, so maybe we can start on the top end here. Okay.
All right. So holding my brush with the bristles like this, yellow on one side, white on the other side. I'm going to start right above the horizon line. Same thing. I'm going to be doing uneven strokes, but as I'm going higher and higher, I want to make them smaller and smaller. So down here by the horizon line, I'm just going to do long ones. I'm going to start going up. I'm going to start going up. If your brush starts running out of paint, just again, yellow on one side, white on the other side. And we're going to start going up, 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 and away. I am going towards how we went with the orange, off to the right a little bit. But like I said, I do not want to cover up all of the orange. I want to leave some of it still showing.
And if your paint is a little damp, it might be mixing with the black a little, which is absolutely fine. We just don't want it to like not show up at all.
Yeah, if it starts blending in with the background, grab another scoop of yellow, grab another scoop of white, and go for it. We just don't want it to start becoming too blended with the background, especially if your background's still kind of wet. If you feel like the yellow and white are not showing that much, grab another yellow, grab another white. Go to town, be somebody. I'm not way too worried about the area that's right above the horizon line, because think about this. All of this area right here is going to be buildings. So my the one I wanted to be a little bit brighter and notice it a little bit more, the area, it should be around this area. This area that's by the horizon line, I'm not too worried about that area. I want the area that's up here on the top right to have the brighter yellow and white lines. But remember, stay horizontal. Don't do this, don't do that, because then it's not going to look uniform. We wanted to have that horizontal feel. uneven. If it looks like a steps on a ladder, immediately throw a quick stroke to the right or to the left that'll break that pattern of a step on a ladder. I also want to do some vertical lines, still having yellow and white on my brush. When you're done with this top part of the canvas with the yellow and white, I want to do some quick uneven yellow and white strokes. I do not want to cover up every little section here because we are going to add a different color to it in a bit. So you might want to leave some little spaces here and there for the next color that we're going to add. So it doesn't have to cover up this entire area. You still want to leave some of the orange showing, but you do want to have yellow and white on your medium brush and do some quick uneven vertical strokes all across underneath that horizon line.
Tossing, turning, up all night, fire burning. I miss the way that it felt. Now we ain't speaking. I'll watch you leaving. Sometimes it still hurts like hell. 'Cause you got me so high, and you left me so low.
Who was DePaul? Or what is DePaul named after? Do you know?
It's named after Saint Vincent de Paul. He's a former, well,
Saint
he was
Vincent
a,
de Paul?
mhm,
Really?
yep. A
I thought he was
priest
just
that-
some like local guy here, like just some local Chicago guy. Yeah.
From South Side.
yeah. Yeah. Or one of 3 Vincentian universities in the country. Yeah, us, St.
When
John's,
you
and
guys are done,
Niagara.
are we ready for the next step? The next step is pretty much the exact same thing we just did, but we're gonna just clean our medium brush. I'm gonna put it in the water, shake it, shake it, shake it. Dab it on your paper towel. This time I'm just grabbing orange by itself. I'm not gonna get any white on it or anything like that. I'm just getting orange by itself. Wait a minute, no, yes. Let's add, same thing we did. Orange on one side, white on the other side. Orange on one side, white on the other side. Same thing we just did with the yellow and white stripes. We just wanna have some quick, uneven white and orange. So I have orange on one side, I turn it around, I grab white on the other side. Try to grab a little bit less white than orange. You might want to get a little bit more orange so the orange will really stand out. I'm going to go around the yellow area. If you go into the yellow area a little bit, it's okay, don't panic. But I want to have some orange and white stripes around the yellow area that we just did. If a little bit of the orange and white goes into the yellow and white, don't panic, it's okay. Just don't cover up all the yellow and white.
What's the style of this? Was it urban art, would you say, kind of? It was a little urban-y, but I can't think of like what this style of this is.
It's very abstract, but I don't know the precise term, even though I am a huge urban art fan. Last year when summer started, one of my best friends from Austin, Texas was here in town. So he does a lot of chalk art. I had never done chalk art in my entire life. Well, I lie. I did one chalk piece in Round Rock, but I'm not someone who does chalk all the time. But my homeboy from Austin, his name's Lakey. He uses his body as a compass. So he'll like set his foot down and stick out his arm and then just turn around perfectly, and he makes perfect circles. So he'll start making Flower of Lives perfectly, and he'll cover blocks in minutes. Like, this guy's a machine.
You guys did a bunch of awesome stuff.
Yeah, we just, every day I'd have off, Tony would call me like, hey, can you come into the studio? Hell no, I'm doing some chalk art. We covered all of Chicago downtown and skate park, Grand Skate Park as well. When you're done doing this orange and white, I'm sorry, go ahead and also add some quick vertical orange and white strokes down here. But remember, don't cover up the yellow and white. Leave some of the faded orange ones as well showing, but throw in a couple of vertical orange and white strokes down here. My homeboy Lakey actually got arrested at the Bean for doing some of his chalk art, but it was the silliest thing. Like, they were calling it street art. Like, he had to go to jail. When the judge actually saw the case, she was like, wait, what? This is chalk? Like, case dismissed, get the heck out of here. But we had so much fun. It was awesome. And the photos we got, because he had a 360 camera, amazing. I look like this humongous human on top of a little planet with great buildings in the background. It's just crazy how awesome pictures we got all last summer. I really miss that guy because he didn't come this year. He usually comes in the summer to Chicago and stays in Texas during the winter. But I don't even want to say it because I don't even want to jinx us anymore. But the lockdown happened, and so he decided to stay in Austin.
Awesome. That looks awesome.
How we doing out there in DePaul virtual world? Are we ready for the next step? Yeah, no, maybe so. If you are ready, make sure to clean your brush. Put it back into the water and shake it, shake it, shake it.
Rod, I'm not sure if you saw the chat. We've got some requests to slow down just a little bit.
So remember too, with this kind of streaky stuff, it is kind of just a quick motion. So you don't want to get too particular about it. I mean, kind of part of it is the speed and the quick, just flicking of the colors.
Look at that.
So yeah.
Yeah, for you type A bloods, because I'm an O positive or whatever the heck that type A means. Remember, like Tony said, it's quick. It's an abstract painting. You don't have to do every single little line that we're doing. It's like quick, ba. All right, so I'm gonna put my medium brush back into the water. I'm gonna leave it in there for a second because we're gonna go back to our big brush. Make sure your big brush is clean though. Put it in the water, shake it. Dab it on your paper towel so it doesn't have any paint on it. I'm going to do this. We have two different purples. We have a light purple and we have a dark purple. Same technique that we've been doing. I'm going to get purple on one side, turn it around, light purple on the other side. Dark purple on one side, light purple on the other side. I'm going to go around this orange area, but I don't want to cover up all the black. I want to leave a little bit of space. I'm just doing quick, uneven, horizontal strokes. Notice how quickly I do them. I am a pro though, but it doesn't take a pro to do this. It's just really quick, uneven, purple strokes around the orange that we left. I want to leave a little bit of space up here and to the left because we're going to add some blue as well. But right now, I just want to add these two purples around the orange. And down here in the darkest part of the lake, I do want to also have some quick, uneven, vertical strokes with the purple combo that we have on our brush. If you need to grab a little bit more, go ahead. Damn it, I'm good. Always take pride in your painting. The happiest artists do not compare their artwork to anyone else's, because when you're comparing to some other person's painting, or when you're always looking at someone else's painting, you're not focusing on your own painting. Paint for yourself, and who cares what anybody else thinks about your painting as long as you love the painting. That's what makes a happy artist. All right, are we ready for the next step? Thumbs up, thumbs down, give me an emoji. Give me a smoke signal. No? I'm gonna have to go slower. Slow poke rod, Streakus. I know we're not at that step yet, but take this into consideration. When we get to the part of the buildings, there's only about 3 buildings that really should stand out. One is the Sears Tower. The next one is the Hancock Building. And I forget what the third building's name is. It's the one from Adventures in Babysitting. I think you guys, if you're just entering DePaul, you will not even know what movie I'm talking about. But when I was a kid, it was one of my favorite movies. It's called Adventures in Babysitting. And there's a scene where they're trying to escape from these bad guys, and they get outside this window from a building that's in the shape of a diamond, and they're like literally sliding down the windows. Someone kept on telling me it's called the Smurfette building, and I thought it was like the Smurfs. I think you guys are too young to know that as well. That's how old I'm starting to sound. But someone said it was like the Smurfette building or something like that. So those are the only 3 buildings that should really stand out. The rest of the buildings are going to be just random sized rectangles or squares. So you do not have to be very precise on your buildings. The only 3 that matter are the Sears Tower, the Hancock building, and the Smurfette Adventures in Babysitting building. And in case you guys haven't seen that movie, go ahead and watch it. I bet you'll like it. It's a pretty cool movie. Family friendly, cool movie.
You just lost your family friend.
All right, I think we should be ready for the next step, right? All right, I'm going to put my big brush back into the water. I'm going to switch over back again to my medium brush. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to put it in the water. Shake it, shake it, shake it. I'm going to get light purple on one side, dark purple on the other side, and then I'm going to dip in white. So all I did was light purple on one side, dark purple on the other side, and then dip in white. And I want to add some quick uneven strokes of this lavender kind of color around the purple that we just made. Go around it. Quick uneven strokes, exactly the same way we've been doing. If you run out, remember, grab light purple on one side, turn it around, grab some dark purple, then dip into some white and some quick uneven horizontal strokes around the purple. I don't know if Lakeshore Drive's opened up again, but if you guys like biking, that is one of my favorite things to do in this town. Take a drive down on your bike by Lakeshore Drive, and it's one of the best views of the city. You have the Hancock building here on the right, and then you have a beautiful beach on the left. It always gets me every single time I go down there.
Man, you can go far. You can go pretty far
Yeah.
south, all the way down to the museum campus down there.
Ooh, I haven't gone all the way down there. I've only gone, the furthest I've gone is from Fullerton all the way down to Buckingham Fountain.
Goal is, I think they're going to connect that thing even further south, so it's going to be almost the whole length of it.
All right, still using the purple and white. I'm going to throw in a couple of vertical lavender highlights down here in the water. I'm not too concerned about this middle part because that's where it's going to say DePaul. Or if you guys want to put Chicago there, you can put Chicago. Or if you want to put your last name, or I don't know, or a message or something, you can do that. Remember, it's your painting. You do not have to write everything that we're going to be writing on here.
Although DePaul did come out pretty darn good.
Check it out. I got to show this off because I have the world's worst penmanship, but I looked up the letters of DePaul and I draw my letters. I can't just go for it. My mom has the best handwriting in the planet. She can't draw, but my dad can draw. But she can write. She's got my dad. He's got like doctor handwriting where you mess up the prescription because you don't know what the heck it says. But my mom has like very traditional cursive, which I really envy because I wish I had that. Especially for like tattoos. If you're a tattoo artist and you have great handwriting, people line up just to get tattoos made by you. Don't get a tattoo, by the way.
Not from you.
Not from me. Not from me.
I'm still practicing.
I'm still practicing. Thank you, Tony. I feel better now. I'm not the only one that thinks I'm bad at tattoos. All right, how we doing out there in virtual world? Am I too Speedy Gonzalez still? All right, so I'm going to put my medium brush back into the water. Remember, if you're not using your medium brush or your big brush, put them back into the water just to save those brushes. We're going to switch over to our small brush. And in order to do the skyline, I'm going to wet my brush a little bit. I'm going to tap it on the cup. And I'm going to add a little bit of this water to the corner of my black. Not to all of it, just to a little corner, just to thin out some black. It'll make outlining a million times easier when you add a little bit of water to your paint. It'll thin it out and make everything way easier. I'm going to start with the Sears Tower. So Sears Tower is about maybe like an open hand width from the right. So I want to start it like right around where my thumb's going to be at. And this is going to be the tallest building. So I'm gonna go up to where like kind of like where the orange and the yellow up here meet.
You know what, Rod? Can I say one thing to
Sure.
you guys? So, I am not an artist, so I'm just going to give you my non-artist point of view. I think with this painting, making the buildings too big is a thing that can happen pretty easily. But if you keep them the right size, that's what gives it that like distant view of the city. So try not to make your buildings too big or too tall.
Yeah, the only one that's gonna be tall is the Sears Tower. Everything else should be shorter than the Sears Tower. Just remember, no building should be as tall as the Sears Tower. I'm gonna go up here to where like maybe where my orange and yellow start meeting up here, and I'm gonna do a horizontal line. It doesn't have to be very wide, probably about the width of a finger. And then I'm just gonna go straight down to the horizon line. I notice it doesn't have the little steps, it's just these things? Oh, really? All right, so then we're gonna do it that way. I'm going to do another vertical line over here. The Sears Tower kind of looks like steps though. Like it has like another little step. So I'm gonna go off here to the left and I'm just gonna make like a little, like a shoulder for it and then go down. And then I'll go over here to the right a little bit lower than where we just did that one and do another like little shoulder and bring it all the way to the bottom. We can't forget the antennas. So at the very top, I'm gonna do an antenna that's shorter than the next one. The next one should be a little bit higher than the left one. I'm not gonna fill them in just yet because I want to do the next building, the next most recognizable building, which is the Hancock building. I'm gonna go probably about like 3 fingers away from where I did my Sears Tower, and then I'm gonna make the Hancock Building. Remember, the Hancock Building is not a perfect rectangle. It's a little bit of an angled building, so it kind of looks like the dollar bill without the little eye that's flying on the top, all Illuminati. We're just gonna do kind of like a triangular shape. Should be shorter than the Sears Tower. Don't forget that. Horizontal line up here, and I make the next one a little bit wider. I just went to the bar that they have on the 94th floor, and I went at night, and I did the whole tilt thing that they have over there. I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and I didn't have the oh my god, I'm gonna die feeling moment. It was just like, all right, maybe I would survive, maybe I wouldn't, but
I'm going to just say most customers are probably not looking for the oh my god, I'm going to die moment. Just you.
well, I wanted it to really tilt, you know. I really wanted to be like, ah. But I hear the Sears Tower has like a clear floor one that you actually walk and you can see the very bottom of the whole city. So I would really like to check that out. All right, this one also has 2 different size antennas, so I'm going to do the left one a little bit shorter than the right one. And the infamous Smurfette building, I call it the Smurfette building, the Adventures in Babysitting building. I'm going to go right around where the middle of the canvas is. And remember, this one should be even shorter than the Hancock building. So this is the tallest one. This is the second tallest one. So this one should be shorter. It has a diamond shape as the roof. So I'm just going to do a diamond shape. And on the side corners of the diamond, I'll just do vertical lines going to the horizon line. And from the left all the way to the right side of the Hancock building, this is what I'm going to do. Random size rectangles or squares. Remember, they shouldn't be as tall as the Hancock building or the Sears Tower. These are just random, different size rectangles or squares.
You can even see on the master painting. I'm going to blow it up here a little bit so you can see it. But you can just see how random the buildings are. They're just rectangles. So it's don't make too much time on them. Just make them random, you know, and that's basically it. And then we're going to add a little bit of these details to make them look like buildings. But as long as those 3 buildings are recognizable, people will absolutely notice the Chicago skyline. So just keep it fun and keep it random.
Yeah, don't overthink it. Different size rectangles, different size squares. I used to live in Houston for a minute, and since I'm from Laredo, Texas, which we don't even have skyscrapers over there. I think we have 1 building that's a skyscraper over there. It was like 15 feet, 15 stories, that's about it. But everybody's like, oh, it's called the executive something building. And I moved to Houston, and to me, the skyline in Houston was like, wow, like check out buildings, oh my God. And so one of my friends here from Chicago went to Houston to visit me, and I was so excited to show him the skyline. I'm like, dude, check this out. And he's just like, weak. I'm like, weak? What are you talking about, man? You don't mess with Texas. He's like, come to Chicago, I'll show you some buildings. I'm like, all right, cool. I was blown away. Like, the buildings never end. It's forever. And beautiful, yeah.
I've lived here my whole life, and I still am like a tourist.
You should also do the architecture tour. That's what everyone tells me. I haven't done it, but everyone and their mother keeps on telling me, Rod, you gotta do the architecture tour.
Cruise the river. That's the one that's the most famous, is to cruise the river on one of those boats, and you just get an amazing view, and the people usually know what they're talking about. It's really cool.
I took a water taxi to Chinatown, but I didn't have the tour guide telling us about the buildings. But if you guys like taking photography, totally recommend that. Like, it is mind blowing, especially when you get to the Sears Tower. Some of the buildings move around when you're passing through the river and you see that building. It's just amazing. It blows your mind away.
Best thing about the water taxi is it's $6.
There you go.
And you get to cruise the river, so pretty cheap way to get out on the river.
Pretty simple, right? Pretty easy. I'm going to fill in the buildings with my medium brush though. When you're done outlining your buildings, switch over to your medium brush and just grab black and just fill them in. Just fill them in. If some of the paint that's in the sky is still kind of wet, don't worry, the black will overpower it immediately, and just go over it a couple of times so it'll turn black.
But yeah, you shouldn't need too much paint. These building black goes over everything pretty well.
Keep waiting, you take my call. Shouldn't stop now, but I don't have self-control. Keep wondering how I missed the signs. Oh, is that fault too? Do I want a piece of mind? And keep asking myself how I could get you to stay. It's breaking my heart to see you walking away. See you, babe.
Who's the best pizza in town, Tony? In your opinion?
Oh wow, depends what we're getting.
Everyone says Luminaries.
Luminari's.
Luminaries.
Luminari's is pretty good. It's a little bit more of like the renowned national one, you know, that people know from everywhere. But
And well, there's Giordano's too. Giordano's is pretty good. But I went to, was it PK or something? PK or I told you about it. The building. I mean, the pizza place that you need reservations.
you mean the one in here, Logan at Paulie G's?
No. It starts. I think it's PK or Piqua. That one. That
A lot of people like Pequod's.
that one. I totally recommend that
Super
place.
New York style thin crust.
Yeah, I love their pizza because you know what?
That's
They
pretty near you guys, by the way.
they toast it a little bit. Like the
Napolitan style.
yeah, the cheese is kind of like a little bit burnt. Crunchy crust, dude, the best.
Somebody just hit us up with that. Yep, the Pequod's is right by the campus. Yep, the Lincoln Park campus for sure.
Go for sure, guys. If you guys are new to town, that was my favorite pizza.
And then for stuffed pizza, Art of Pizza is very good. That's not too far from you guys either. It's like Ashland and Belmont. And then there's a really good place in Logan too, Dante's. It's kind of over the top, crazy
Oh.
pizza. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Dante's is right next to us here too.
That's good. They have like an Italian meat pizza, and it has like 7 different kinds of meats on it, like pepperoni, speck, salami, prosciutto. It's crazy. You have to lay down after you eat it, but it's pretty good.
Food coma for sure. Make sure you don't have an exam the next day because you'll pass out and won't be able to wake up in time.
It's awesome how as soon as you fill in these buildings, now the sky looks like sky, you know, because it's behind it. It's really cool.
We are going to add some highlights though to the building so we can really notice them. But while we're waiting, how's everybody doing?
How about we'll give everybody a few minutes just to fill in your buildings. Yeah, like Rod said, while we wait for the buildings to dry, I think we're going to tackle the lettering.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to do the lettering. But I'll just wait for you guys to catch up. We are gonna use our small brush for that, just so we can do the basic outline. And it's literally just basic capital letters. The only thing is the D in the D is gonna be a little bit bigger than the E, obviously, and the P in Paul is gonna be a little bit bigger than the rest. But they're gonna be just literally like we're doing capital letters. I'll just show you guys how we're gonna add just a little extra step to them, so they'll look more like the actual letters from DePaul. DePaul, DeRingo, DeJohn. You're getting that one. I don't think they're gonna go. Damn it, I'm old. The George. Here comes the sun.
So I know a lot of people have different techniques for doing lettering. Do you do the middle letter first and build out, or do you do it from the front to?
Good question. Actually, that's a really good point. I was trying to like visualize it, but if we go to the middle and we can start the P of Paul right here, should be a pretty tall P though. It should be almost maybe like 2 fingers from the bottom of the canvas, and it should go into the yellow and white stripes a little bit, so you can get a better idea of how big our P is gonna be. And the D should be also the same size or same height as the P, so the P will be right down the middle, and we can go to the AUL, and then we'll just get close with the we can even go in reverse. We can do the letter E next to the P and then the D, so that way they'll be perfectly centered. Because if we do the D and the E and then we go to the middle of the P, we might have a huge gap in between the P and the E. So we'll start with the P, and then we can do the AUL, and then we'll do the E and then the capital D. Are we ready, DePaulits? What's the mascot of DePaul? I do not know it. Blue Demon? And it's Saint DePaul?
He's a good demon.
Wow.
He's a friendly.
Wow.
That's awesome. They have awesome women's. They have awesome basketball, men's and women. But
Awesome.
My daughter took a whole bunch of camps with Doug Bruno, who's been like a coach there for like
Ever?
30 years, 40 years.
Wow.
He's got that like the no coach voice. Like it's like his voice is just gone from 30 or 40 years of yelling. But it's a really cool coach. Taught my daughter a lot.
Awesome, awesome.
He's awesome. He's super cool.
Tony's daughter actually saved someone the other day at the lake. She, how did you tell the story better? Because I don't even know it, Tony.
Somebody that she works with at a camp that she was counseling at had kind of a form of epilepsy and not everybody knew it. So they happened to be walking back from just hanging out, and my daughter had a Gatorade to throw away, and for some reason she decided to go throw it away at this recycle bin that was near the lake. When she went to go throw it in the lake, she noticed something in the lake and looked a little closer. It was somebody floating. So she dove into the lake, and then a bunch of her friends came, and they were able to pull the girl out and get her to breathe again. But what she just kept saying is how lucky she was that she decided to throw the Gatorade bottle in that receptacle. If she'd have kept walking with everybody, she wouldn't have seen her. And she's like, just the miracle of it all, like just whatever, a 1 in a million chance that she decided to go that way. Otherwise, she'd have never seen her. Wow, that'd have been it. It's just unbelievable.
Did they meet after that? Have they talked? Yeah? Are they friends now? Like, that is awesome, dude. All right, DePaul demons out there. Are we ready for the DePaul part of the DePaul painting? I'm assuming yes, right? Check it out. This is the middle of my canvas. Actually, if you did center your Smurfette building or Adventures in Babysitting building, you can just go straight down, and we're gonna start our P right around where the yellow and white are getting close to the darkest part of the lake. So I'm just gonna do a typical capital letter P. If you want to make straighter lines, you can do this. This is a trick I learned during my tattoo phase. Stick out your pinky. Make sure this is dry, though. You can look at it in the light, and if you don't see that it's wet, you can stick out your pinky. It'll give you way more balance. Your hand won't shake, or if you're nervous, your hand won't be shaking. It'll give you way more balance, like a tripod. And we're just doing a straight line down. I'm going to stop about maybe like 2 fingers before I get to the very bottom. I'm just doing a regular letter P. I know it looks super bland right now, but trust me, we're going to make it look dope in a minute. Just a typical capital letter P. Alright, so I'm going to make the P a little bit thicker. I'm just going to go off to the right of where I did my vertical line, and I'm just going to go and make another vertical line so my P's a little bit thicker. And I'm going to go on the inside part, the part that looks kind of like a letter D, a capital letter D. I'm just going to make a smaller letter D inside so it looks thicker. But up here on the left corner, you want there to be like a little ink, like you want it to stretch out a little bit off towards the left. So over here on the left corner, I'm just going to bring out the letter P a little bit more. It should be as white as where we just made this extra letter D inside the letter P. So I'm just gonna make it like a little dent. On the bottom, I'm just going to make a straight horizontal line down here. I'm just making a straight horizontal line. But then I'll connect this vertical line that we have just by doing kind of like a little bit of a curve towards the ends. So I just curved it like I did a parentheses, or just like a little curve to the ends of that horizontal line, just to make it look like it curves out to that horizontal line. I'm gonna go to my letter A. It should be kind of like over here on the right corner of where it becomes kind of like the letter D. I'm going to make just a capital letter A. It should be shorter than the P. This is just a typical capital letter A. It does go all the way down to where the bottom part of the letter P's at, but we're just making a typical capital letter A. On the bottom, same thing we did with the letter P. I'm doing a horizontal line and a horizontal line. And then I'm just gonna make the letter A a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna go off here to the left side of my capital letter A, make it a little bit thicker. I'm gonna go to the right, same thing. I'm gonna curve out that letter A so it connects to the horizontal line. I'm just curving out to that horizontal line. Pretty simple, right? Gonna go to the right. I'm gonna make a letter U. I'm just doing a typical letter U. It should be the same height as the letter A. It shouldn't be up here by the P. It should be the same height as the letter A. I'm just doing a typical letter, capital letter U. Well, capital letter U and a small case U is the same thing, no? I mean, when you're describing it.
This one wants, so it's a little different.
On the U, though, we're going to do the opposite of where we did the letter A. We did 2 horizontal lines on the bottom. Here, we're doing 2 horizontal lines on the top. And then we'll just kind of curve out a little bit to connect the vertical lines parts of the letter U to those horizontal parts that we just added. Typical letter L coming up. Should be the same height as the A and the U. All I'm doing is a typical letter, capital letter L. On the top of my letter L, I'm going to do a little horizontal line, kind of like how we did it with the letter U. I'll curve a little bit so I can go into the the vertical part of the letter L. On this bottom part of the letter L, a little bit of a indentation happens, kind of like how we did the letter P up here. We have a little bit of a dent out here, curve it to connect to the letter L. And on the right side, we have a vertical line, a small vertical line. But then we'll curve it so it connects to the horizontal part.
And while lettering is simple, it's not easy to make it perfect. So you got to give yourself a little bit of a break. It's hard to do perfect letters, which is why I like these kind of block letters. I think they're a little bit forgiving.
Oh yeah, if we would have done the Chicago, the cursive. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to the letter E. I'm not gonna go to the D because if I do the E, it'll be more balanced out with just trying to do the D and then the E. It might come out too separated. So over here, I'm gonna do a capital letter E. Should be the same height as our A and our U and our L, but it's gonna be on this side. So I'm gonna go over here and make a letter E. Just a typical letter E. That's capital. The letter E is gonna have the same indentation that we had out here with the letter P and the letter L. So it does have a little bit of an indentation up here, I mean down here and up here as well. We'll curve our lines so they connect to the little indentation. I want to make this letter E a little bit thicker. And just like the letter L, how we had that little vertical line at the end, we're going to do the same thing to this part of the letter E and the top part of the letter E. I'm also going to do one vertical line in the middle part of the letter E, and we'll just curve it to connect it to the horizontal lines. I'll do that also to the middle part of the letter E. I'll curve it. I feel like this part needs to be a little bit thicker also, so I'm just going to make this vertical part a little bit thicker. Bam! We're gonna do the letter D now. Should be the same height as the P. If you want, I always do this like an invisible imaginary line. I can start right here where my P's at, and I just go off here towards the left. This should be dry by now, so if you want to do that, it's okay. I'm gonna stop right around here, and I'll do my dot right there for where I'm gonna start my letter D. I'm just gonna do a vertical line first, and I'll stop at the same height as my letter E and P. I'm going to do my D. I definitely want to make that D a little bit thicker. And same thing as the letter E, it has those little indentations at the end, so I'm just going to stretch out a little horizontal line at the end. And then I'll just curve it so it'll connect to the vertical part of the D. Bam, damn it, I'm good. This step's actually a pretty simple step. We're just going to re-outline outside of our DePaul letters with some white and some purple, the light purple. So I'm gonna get 2 scoops of the white, and a scoop is actually a scoop. Think like you're scooping ice cream with your small brush. I'm gonna put it on my extra plate. I'm just gonna grab 2 scoops of white and a scoop of that light purple. I'm gonna mix them together to make a light neon-ish purple color. And we're just outlining outside of our letters with this color. I feel like I need a little bit more purple on that. If it looks too bright, add another scoop of that purple to your white and purple, just so it looks like a light purple color. If there's an area where your letters are too close, don't worry, just stop where they meet. You don't have to make the perfect outline of your letters. We just want to give it like a night glow, kind of like it's like a neon glow.
And remember, you guys, You're the artist, so if you would like to outline it in a different color, go for it. If you'd rather do red or orange or yellow or the dark blue, go for it.
You know how I know DePaul, right? Like I'm new here. I was supposed to go to an after party, and I'm like, "What's the address?" And they give me the address to DePaul, and I just show up. I'm like, all I see is a university. What the heck? They were ghosting me. I'm like, all right, cool.
Pretty cool. The campus is awesome. The location can't be beat. It's pretty unique for a university like that to be in the city where it's located. It's pretty cool.
I gotta go check it out.
For all the new folks, you guys are in a pretty awesome neighborhood. A lot of cool restaurants and clubs and things and stuff to visit right by DePaul. But Union Square is not too far. We have a lot of fun, a lot of cool establishments here too. So just grab the Fullerton bus and go west. It's not long, 10 minutes, 15 minutes away.
Or come visit us to one of our classes. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do around here. But nothing as cool as Pino's palette.
Yeah, I'll try.
How we doing out there, DePaul? You little demons out there? Are we ready for the details on the buildings? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
So we're going to probably run a little bit over the 9 o'clock stop time, but I don't know. We want to make sure you guys this painting rocks for y'all. So we're gonna just get all these details in, so you guys can watch this thing kind of come to life. These details really kind of bring this city alive.
All right, I'll give you guys maybe like a minute more to outline your letters. We should be ready now. The building should be dry by now. So when we add the next colors to them, which are mostly going to be white, yellow, and orange. The building should be dry by now, so I'm not afraid about just going straight on them. I'm going to clean my small brush. I'm going to just start with some white. This doesn't have to be precise like every single thing I'm doing. I'm just getting some white. And I'm outlining some of the buildings with some white. I'm outlining the outside of them. I want to press kind of light though when I'm doing my outlines. And these don't have to be perfect and like we have to outline everything. These can be like a very abstract outline. I'm just grabbing some white with my small brush. And we're not outlining every single thing with white. We want to leave some buildings. Um, like I'll leave this part of the Sears Tower by itself, the left side, so I can outline it with yellow. Or I can outline some of these buildings with some orange. But I'm doing just quick outlines of some of the buildings with some white. Not all of them, because remember, we're going to use some yellow also in some of them, and we're going to use some orange. But you might want to outline maybe one side of the building with white and leave the other side by itself, so you can add some orange to it or some yellow to it. It's up to you. Like I said, you don't have to do these exactly the same way as I'm doing them. It's just suggestions. Especially outline these buildings that might have disappeared on the left, because this is like the darkest part of the sky. So you do definitely want to outline those buildings so they'll stand out and they don't disappear with the background. The Hancock building has like letter X's down the entire middle of the building. So if you want, you can go ahead and just grab some white and make some X's. All my X's live in Texas, literally. Literally. Maybe even do a couple of horizontal lines on a couple of the buildings to represent some of the lights. But notice I didn't outline all the buildings with white. I left some empty so I can add some yellow to some of them, some orange to some of them. You might want to even do some like little dots as little tiny windows for some of the buildings. An easy way to make dots is with the butt end of your brush. You can just dip your butt end of the small brush into some white and then just stamp on some windows. If you do the sound effects, the windows come out better. Just be careful if you have too much paint like me right there. If you press really hard, you're gonna get really big dots. But if you press really lightly, you'll get smaller dots. I was just showing Tony a picture of downtown. We had a power outage, and they only left the lights up here on the Sears Tower and don't call it the Willis Tower for you newbies here. You'll get in a lot of trouble. People will get mad at you. They're like, what are you calling it the Willis Tower for? It's the Sears Tower. It's the Sears Tower. The Sears Tower, not the Willis, had just like two little lights for like eyes, and then like a mouth. Like it had like a row of lights that made like a mouth, and it looked like a really serious face looking down, like with his shoulders like this, looking down at the whole buildings, and everything was just pitch black. So it looked very ominous. It looked scary. It looked weird. Remember, it's an abstract painting. It does not have to have every single window. Combine it with vertical lines and horizontal lines and little dots. I'm even gonna dirty brush it. Since I have some white on my brush, I just picked up some yellow and maybe I'll go over the X's. Maybe go over a roof that you didn't outline. Or if you did and you want to just throw some yellow in one of the buildings that you already outlined with white, just go over it, it's okay. And notice I just go for it. I'm not like, which one should I go for next, or am I gonna mess it up? Go for it. Be somebody. Don't overthink it. It's an abstract painting. You do not have to overthink these paintings. I do want to add kind of like a little scribble up here on the diamond part of the Smurfette building, or whatever it's called. I'm just gonna keep on calling it the Smurfette building. We could look it up, right? But it's more fun just to misname it. Everybody freezes. They're just like, what? What are you talking about? Like I'm talking in a different language or something. I'm like, the diamond building, the only one that's a diamond. I heard that the designer purposely made it like that because all the buildings are phallic shaped. That's what she was saying, and that was supposed to represent femininity in between all these masculine buildings. That's something that I did hear. Oh, the Virgin one? Because that one has a cool club upstairs. Yeah. Virgin Hotel. What do I know? I don't know anything about this city. I'm still trying to learn. Dope city though. The one food I didn't like though, that I've tried like a whole bunch of different foods, German food. I just didn't. It didn't go down well. It was like, eh. But I've been really surprised with like, I had never had Filipino food. I've had it here. Oh my god, delicious. I want to pick up some orange with my dirty brush. I'm not cleaning it. I just picked up some orange. Remember, if you have some areas that still need like outlining on the left or on the right, do it with your orange. Or if you want to re-outline something that you had with white and want to add a little bit of orange to it, you can do that as well. Or go over some of your yellow. It is okay. Combination of little horizontal lines, little dots, throw them here and there everywhere. Don't be afraid. Fear is your enemy. I'm even gonna add a little bit of this dirty brush orange that I have to the horizon line. Uneven though, uneven. I don't have to make a perfectly straight line. I think that'll create a nice little effect of where like the water and the skyline meet. I'm just doing quick, uneven, horizontal strokes following that horizon line. We have one more step to this painting, and it's just adding a couple of little horizontal, uneven white strokes to represent like the waves, like the foamy part of the waves or highlight part of the waves. So, how we doing, demons? You guys ready for these? Cause we're almost at the end of the class, but Tony and I do not mind if we go a little bit over time. We want your paintings to come out awesome. So with white, all I'm going to do is I clean my brush, I grab some white. Don't press really hard when you're doing these. Do it with light pressure. Random, uneven, random white horizontal strokes. Go over your yellow, go over your orange. It's okay. This will create that effect that it's actual waves. But don't press really hard. Press with light pressure so you can get nice and thin lines. I'm even gonna add some random ones out here on the horizon line as well. That is the very last step of the painting. The one thing we're missing though is your John Hancock, and I'm not talking about the building. Sign it. Sign your painting. You can either sign it on the left or sign it on the right. Some artists like doing their signature, some like just doing their initials. Just make sure it's not a very dark color that you're gonna use to sign it. You might want to use, if you want to use like red, or if you want to use orange, maybe add a little bit of white to it so it'll stand out. If you're gonna use purple, the dark purple, definitely use the white in there because you will not see it over here. But yeah, add some white to it if you want to use those colors, or just sign it with white like I did. If the date is important, like a birthday or an anniversary or something like that, you might want to put the date there as well, but you don't have to. But some artists like putting the date also because if they continue painting, they can go back to the painting in the near future and say, oh, look how much I've grown in 2 years. That's my first painting, and now in 2 years I'm way better. So it is kind of cool to put the date because of that. But I never put the date on my paintings. Facebook does that for me. But that is literally the last step, guys. I hope, you know what, is there any chance that you guys can turn your paintings around and show them to the camera so we can see how your paintings came out? I would... Yeah, and you don't have to stop painting just because the class is over. If you want to add a little boat, a sailboat on the lake, or a UFO flying around sky or something, it's up to you. This is your painting. I want you to personalize your painting. But I do want to see your paintings. I'm going to go.
Tony, we can't hear you, just as an FYI.
Oh, I wonder how long that's been up. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's all right. You didn't miss anything. I don't say anything that's worth hearing. Yeah, if you could show us your paintings, we'd love to see them. Otherwise, at the end, we'll show a little social link. You guys can tag us and show us your paintings. We'd love it. Oh, that looks awesome, Veep. Check you out. That looks amazing. Awesome. Oh, I see some other canvases. He's either painting with other people or he knows what he's doing back there. I see Gracie fired up. Let's see if she can.
Rising down and rising up, but always seem to fall behind.
Nice, guys. It was fun.
Oh, thank you. Your painting looks amazing. Oh, heck yeah. Grace, that looks great. Oh, those
Go Chicago.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Rod, we can't hear you.
Yeah, you shut you off now. Courtney, this is we've never done this before. We just we threw something out there on Facebook and somebody called us. We don't even know what we're doing.
Nice job, Gracie.
You're still not on.
Yeah, you're still muted, Rod. There it is.
Thank you so much for the last time. I'm going to try this. From Tony and for myself, we really appreciate you guys. Hopefully we'll see you in one of our future classes, but I hope you guys kick some butt this semester. Great job, everybody.
Yeah,
Great.
Guys, all you new folks, enjoy Chicago, DePaul campus, DePaul School. Obviously, you know where you guys are at. Amazing place, amazing location. So enjoy it as much as you can. We know it's a strange year, but hang in there, and I'm sure you guys will still find a way to enjoy it and to get a good experience. So take care, and thank you very much. Thank you, Courtney, for inviting us, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rod and Tony. For all of our students in attendance, we're going to be doing a couple events with Pinot's Palette throughout fall quarter, so be sure to follow us on social media to get more information for the next class. We're going to be doing a number of different pictures and paintings, so be sure to check it out. But again, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of Welcome Week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care.